Hey, we're reading The Immortals of Meluha by Amish. I have read like 132 pages, 100 of them on one single night. I was engaged in the book, so I kept reading. Anyway, we're gonna continue. At a conceptual level, how the Somras works is ridiculously simple, said Brihaspati. The almost impossible task was to convert the concept into reality. That was the genius of Lord Brahma, Jai Shri Brahma. Jai Shri Brahma repeated Shiva, Kanakala, and Nandi. Before understanding how the medicine slows down the aging process dramatically, we have to understand what keeps us alive, said Brahaspati. There is a fundamental thing that none of us can live without. Shiva stared at Brahaspati, waiting for him to expound. And that fundamental thing is energy, explained Brahaspati. When we walk, talk, think, in fact, when we do anything that can be called being alive, we use energy. We have a similar concept amongst our people, said Shiva, except we call it Shakti. Shakti? Asked the surprised Brahaspati. Interesting. That word has not been used to describe energy for many centuries. It was a term employed by the Pandyas, the ancestors of all the people of India. Do you know where your tribe has come from? Their lineage? I'm not really sure, but there's an old woman in my tribe who claims to know everything about our history. Perhaps we should ask her when she comes to Devagiri. Perhaps we should, smiled Brahaspati. In any case, getting back to the subject, we know that nothing can be done by our body without energy. Now, where does this energy come from? From the food that we eat, suggested Nandi timidly. He was finally developing the confidence to speak in front of such important people. Absolutely right. The food that we eat stores energy which we can then expend. That's also why we feel weak when we don't eat. However, you don't get energy merely by eating. Something inside your body has to draw the energy so that we can put it to good use. Yeah, makes sense so far. Absolutely, agreed Shiva. The conversion of food into energy is performed by the air we breathe, continued Brahaspati. The air has various gases in it. One of these gases is called oxygen, which reacts with our food and releases energy. If we don't get oxygen, our body would be starved of energy and we would die. But this is the process that keeps us alive, said Shiva. What does the medicine have to do with it? The medicine has to work on what causes us to grow old, to become weak, and die. Brahaspati smiled. What I've told you does have something to do with how we age, because as it appears, nature has a sense of humor. The thing that keeps us alive is also what causes us to age and eventually die. When oxygen reacts with our food in order to release energy, it also releases free radicals called oxidants. These oxidants are toxic. When you leave any fruit out and it becomes rancid, this is because it has been oxidized or the oxidants have reacted with it to make it not, to make it rot. A similar oxidizing process causes metals to corrode. It happens especially with the new metal we have discovered, iron. The same thing happens to our body when we breathe in oxygen. The oxygen helps convert the food we eat into energy, but it also causes the release of oxidants into our body, which start reacting inside us. We rust from the inside and hence age and eventually die. By the holy god Agni, named Nandi, the thing that gives us life is also what slowly kills us. Yes, said Brahaspati. Think about it. The body tries to store everything that you need from the outside world in order to survive. It stores enough food to survive for a few days without it. It stocks up on water so that a few days of thirst will not kill you. It seems logical, right? If your body needs something, it keeps some of it as a backup for possible shortages. Absolutely, I agree, Shiva. On the other hand, the body does not store enough oxygen, the most crucial part of component of staying alive, to last for more than a few minutes more than just a few minutes. It doesn't make any sense at all. The only explanation is that the body realizes that despite being an elixir, oxygen is also a poison. Hence, it's dangerous to store. So, what did Lord Brahma do? Asked Shiva. After a lot of research, Lord Brahma invented the somras, which, when consumed, reacts with the oxidants, absorbs them, and then expels them from the body as sweat or urine. Because of the somras, there are no oxidants left in the body. Is that why the perspiration released from the body is poisonous the first time a person drinks the somras? Yes, your sweat is particularly dangerous the first time you drink the somras. Having said that, remember, sweat and urine released from the body even after a person has drunk the somras for years remains toxic. So you have to eject it from the body and make sure that it does not affect anyone else. So that's why the Meluhans are so obsessed with hygiene. Yes, that's why all Meluhans are taught about two things from a young age: water and hygiene. Water is the cleanest absorber of the effluents that the sombras generates and excretes as toxins. Meluhans are taught to drink gallons of water, and everything that can be washed should be washed. The Meluhans bathe at least twice a day. All ablutions are done in specific rooms and underground drains, then safely carry the waste out of the city. Strict hygiene standards, smiled Shiva as he remembered his first day in Kashmir and eyed with his strong words. How is the somras manufactured? Manufacturing the somras is not without its fair share of difficulties. It requires various ingredients that are not easily available. For example, the Sanjeevani tree. The empire has giant plantations to produce these trees. The manufacturing procedure also generates a lot of heat, so we have to use a lot of water during the processing to help to keep the mixture stable. Also, the crushed branches of the sanjeevani tree have to be churned with the waters of the Saraswati River before processing begins. Water from other sources doesn't work. Is that the strange noise I keep hearing? The churners? That's exactly what it is. We have giant churning machines in a massive cavern at the base of this mountain. The Saraswati waters are led in here through a complex system of canals. The water is collected in an enormous pool in the cavern, which we affectionately call Sagar. Sagar? An ocean? Is that what you call a pool of water? Asked the surprised Shiva, for he had heard legends about the massive never-ending expanse of water called Sagar. It's a bit of a hyperbole, admitted Brihaspati with a smile. But if you did see the size of the pool, you would realize that we're not that off the mark. Well, I would certainly like to see the entire facility. It was too late by the time we got in last night, so I haven't seen much of the mountain as yet. I'll take you around after lunch, said Brihaspati. Shiva grinned in reply. He was about to say something but checked himself in time, looking at both Kanakala and Nandi. Brihaspati noticed the hesitation. He felt Shiva might want to ask him something, but not in front of Nandi and Kanakala. Brihaspati turned to them and said, I think Shiva wants to ask me something. May I request you to wait outside? It was a measure of the respect that Brihaspati commanded that Kanakala immediately rose to leave the room after a formal namaste, followed by Nandi. Brihaspati turned to Shiva with a smile. Why don't you ask the question you really came to ask? Dum dum dum. Love and its consequences. All right, I'll pick this up later.